Welcome to Conscious Chronicles, where we delve into the extraordinary and explore the mysteries that lie beyond the veil of life. I'm your guide on this journey through stories of near-death experiences, encounters with the afterlife, and the profound transformations that follow. These narrations, they aren't just stories. They are windows into realms that challenge our understanding of existence. Before we dive into today's compelling story, I invite you to join our community by subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if this story resonates with you, please share your thoughts in the comments below. I reply to all comments. Tell me what you think. In August, I was bicycling home from a volunteer position around 10 p.m. As I was approaching a traffic light, I was struck from behind by a pickup truck traveling at approximately 50 miles per hour. The impact sent both my bike and me slamming against the truck. The driver then abruptly hit the brakes, causing me to be catapulted 60 feet through the air until I landed on the shoulder of the road. This horrific accident resulted in my lungs collapsing, most of my internal organs rupturing, and several broken ribs and a pelvis. I was dangerously close to being roadkill. Fortunately, a police officer happened to be nearby and quickly radioed for an ambulance. As far as I know, I have no memory of the events leading up to the accident. Here's what I can recall. One moment, I was riding my bike, and the next, I found myself in a place shrouded in complete darkness. I had no sense of direction or perspective, but I did retain an awareness of my body. That is, if I still had one. In the distance, I began to detect a faint hum and a tiny pinprick of light. The sound grew louder, and the light seemed to draw nearer. As this object approached, I realized it was a fantastical, demonic creature, engulfed in flames, boasting enormous eyes and teeth. It danced menacingly toward me, emitting growls and slavering with a long, slobbering orange tongue. There was a palpable menace in its gaze as it bared its teeth. I remained rooted to the spot in the dark where I stood. It seemed there was no escape from this creature, which was advancing at an ever-increasing speed, determined to intercept me. I stood my ground and closed my eyes, expecting to be engulfed in flames or devoured, or perhaps both. However, to my astonishment, I became aware of the creature slowly passing through my body without causing any pain. I turned an inward eye toward it and discovered that the creature was actually laughing with glee as it melted through me. With a pop, it exited behind me, and suddenly I was hurtling forward at great speed through the darkness. As I flew, two more of these demon creatures approached me, displaying different colors, but still exuding a sense of dread. Armed with my previous encounter, I allowed these beings to approach and pass through me as well. Soon, I reached the entrance of a tunnel within the inky blackness. The tunnel appeared to be constructed of a gray, cloud-like material and extended far away and up to the right. At a certain point, it branched, obscuring my view of its destination. From the right branch emanated a yellow-white light that gently illuminated the tunnel's interior. Glancing down at myself, I noticed that my body had vanished, replaced by a blue-white light resembling a star, which pulsed rhythmically. This transformation felt natural and pleasant, liberating me from the constraints of my physical form. As I continued floating through the tunnel, I observed portals on both sides of its structure. A few other star-like entities were wandering within the tunnel, some blue like myself, and others amber-colored. 2 other blue stars appeared beside me and gently propelled me further along the tunnel. I observed that some doorways within the tunnel were open, while others appeared to be closed. The first portal I peered into resembled a classic depiction of hell. There were agonizing screams, and naked humans were scattered across a desolate landscape, surrounded by pools of vile substances and jagged boulders. Demons and other creatures tortured people in unimaginable ways, and individuals also tormented each other. As I neared the portal to this sinister scene, I felt a sucking sensation, drawing me in like a whirlpool. I found myself soaring above the wretched landscape. The smell was putrid, and the heat nearly unbearable, but part of me was fascinated by the infinite varieties of pain and suffering inflicted upon the inhabitants of this realm. Most of me wanted to leave, and it seemed that anyone could depart if they so desired. I felt that the captivity of these people was self-inflicted, rooted in their belief in the perpetual agony they experienced. I returned to the portal, retaining a sense of myself, thankful I only experienced this out of curiosity. The next portal I encountered in the tunnel was not much better. As far as I could see, people walked on barren yellow terrain. Their heads hung low, immersed in their own depressive, self-pitying thoughts, seemingly unaware of each other. A profound feeling of loneliness and isolation emanated from the scene, and I refrained from approaching too closely. Although there was no sucking sensation near this portal, I continued to float along the tunnel. I glanced into other portals, but the one that left a lasting impression on me was a world of almost indescribable beauty. I beheld a magnificent wooded garden with fountains, waterfalls, streams, and iridescently glowing bridges. This scene exuded peace and harmony, and I felt an intense desire to enter. As I began to move toward the portal, my path was obstructed by a sensation similar to plastic wrap webbing. I pushed forward, but was gently repelled, accompanied by a voice stating, "You do not have the information to enter this world." At that moment, I felt disappointment, but not judgment or unworthiness. Rather, I felt uninformed. I redirected my attention to the glowing light at the right fork in the tunnel. Entering it, I experienced an overwhelming sense of absolute joy, nothing but pure, unadulterated joy. I conveyed to the light, "I'm here," and the light responded, "Great," in a voice filled with happiness and bliss. I surrendered myself to this bliss and acquired insights that might sound cliched when recounted, but remain profound truths for me, resonating deeply within me to this day. I learned that I am eternal and that, despite undergoing various forms of death, I will always retain knowledge of my true self. I realized that I have nothing to fear and that my experiences are ultimately of my own choosing. It may sound trite, but knowing these truths within myself feels genuinely liberating and comforting. Gradually, I grew disenchanted with the eternal bliss and decided to depart. I informed the light of my departure, and it responded with unabated joy and bliss, completely unaffected by my presence. I floated back down the tunnel, filled with wonder, eventually pausing at the threshold of a portal that afforded a view of outer space. Rocks drifted by, and in the distance, planets and galaxies twirled in a silent ballet. This scene evoked conflicting feelings of serenity and adventure as I gazed upon the tranquil tableau. The tunnel's entrance was nearby, and voices echoed, urging me not to leave, mentioning Sarah and Zane, my son, who was 5 years old at the time of this incident. Annoyed by these voices, because I had no intention of departing, and of course was going to be present to witness Zane's growth, I engaged in conversation with another being that appeared beside me. We discussed my options and overheard a voice stating, "If you pass through this door, you can't come back." My next conscious memory was of lying in a hospital bed with countless tubes protruding from me and a respirator tube in my mouth. Despite being unable to move any part of my body voluntarily, I was brimming with joy and a profound sense of power. The pain quickly reoriented me to my physical self. Since my near-death experience, I have confronted numerous trials and challenges, including the complete loss of identity, disability, poverty, the loss of friends who couldn't comprehend how the experience transformed me, and chronic pain. Nevertheless, the knowledge of the eternity of my spirit and the freedom from the fear of death have provided me with a foundation of unshakable peace. I earnestly wish that everyone could experience the wonders I have experienced without enduring the trauma that I went through. I feel it has the potential to transform our world. Thank you for joining us on this profound journey. If this story resonated with you or sparked your curiosity about the mysteries of the afterlife, please share your thoughts in the comments below. Your experiences and insights are invaluable, and they could be a beacon of light for someone else. Don't forget to subscribe to Conscious Chronicles for more incredible stories that explore the depths of human consciousness and the wonders beyond. Until next time, remember that we are all eternal beings, and every experience, no matter how challenging, is an opportunity for growth and understanding. Take care.